Hi everyone, I'm Koji. Today's topic is about self-believing. So let's get started. With self-believing, when you believe yourself, you will experience your own life. You can live your own life with self-believing, and when you believe yourself, you can make a choice, make a decision on your own based on what you believe, and that would probably that would tendency it has a tendency to get into a good result because you believe it and you believe it to be good, turn out to be good. And if it's somehow ended up something unexpected and that is not reaching your expectation, you still believe it would turn to some kind of a level of satisfaction you can get from it. And you can be consistent to make an effort to make the outcome to more ideal way that you want. So believing yourself is really, really important, and that can give you the courage, it will give you the strength, and it will give you consistency to make you having progress toward your goal. Now, when you lose it, it's totally opposite. Totally opposite happens to you when you lose it. You don't have strength, you don't have courage, you don't have consistency, and you are no longer able to make a decision on your own based on what you believe because you can't believe yourself. And I'm sending this message for you to try not to make you go into the phase of self doubt when you can when you can't believe yourself. So believing in self is really important. However, sometimes it gets too hard. The life gets hard, and maybe the failure or unexpected results or events and kind of thing that make you disappointed happens continuously and for a long time. Then you feel as you feel pain for a long time, you started self-doubt, and it is quite impossible to stop the self-doubt process when you are in those kind of a situation, and it is difficult. However, there is a cure, and why I'm saying this is because I have a time when I couldn't believe in myself for a long time. It wasn't like it wasn't like hours of events. It was it was not days. It was not weeks. It was months and years of time that I couldn't believe myself. And while I was un- while I was unable to believe myself, it feels like it wasn't a painful moment, but however, it feels like you losing. I'm losing myself dissolving gradually and getting pale and pale over time. And when you don't, when I don't believe myself, it feels like it seems like a better choice to pick the moderate one, to be moderate or to be average or to pick the safest choice is the right answer. that was the mindset that I had when I couldn't believe my thought. Then what happened was, ba- basically I'm the person who believed in my gut feeling or intuition and inspiration that I have from something, and I just go into that thing, and I made a choice based on those intuition, and I proceeded and I got a result, and most of the case, the result is what I expected, and what I wanted, and or if it's even if it's unexpected, still it satisfied me. However, what happened was I got a gut feeling was was saying something was right one, and I got a feeling, and I I processed the thought that maybe this thing the other people also think it's good, and maybe other people will praise that I have this. Maybe this one brings someone or others to, I mean, well, I mean, maybe this thing attracts others, what I have, and maybe people think I'm great if I have this. Those kind of, the thought was basically towards the direction of what other people think. That was the situation. That was my mindset that I had when I, started to couldn't believe the state of myself. I started losing self believing. But however, what happened was I got a feeling, and I thought this was the right answer, and I thought others would also think this was the good one, and I picked the choice, and the the thing started, and the first of all it went good. It went as expected, and so it was the right answer to me, and it was still the right choice. However, in some after some time passed, my gut feeling gone. Okay, and gut feeling gone, and the result is moderate, and it's not bad, but it's not good either. And because my gut feeling's gone, so I thought this was not that good choice, and I left it. I quit that thing and I left it. And those kind of things happen continuously, I mean, over and over time, and I just lose my self believing over the time, and I didn't know what was the right way to think about, right way to pick the right choice. I didn't know what is the thought to lead me to the good decision. Now, after after the series of those kind of unexpected self-doubting moment and events happen, I started to pick the average choice. So what I how I thought was maybe this thing was the safest choice, so that would be the right answer, and maybe this one is the pretty much moderate choice, moderate thought, so that the others also think this was moderate. So this would be the moderate answer. And if the moderate answer, a moderate thing, could be much better thing if I put some effort on it. And I picked those one. I pick. I tended to pick those average and moderate choice rather than my gut feeling driven choice. And I think I started to. living someone else's life because I I made a decision something else, based on based on some others' beliefs, it's based on the majority's beliefs. It's not my belief. It's not what I believe. It was someone else's belief or the majority's belief, and ended up to self doubt. I didn't believe myself, and I couldn't believe myself, and I didn't weigh on my thoughts, and that ends up a very poor decision. It was very impulsive sometimes, and it was, I think, I had a lot of procrastination. I think so, and those things leads me to lose self believing, and that was not a happy time. So that's why I'm sending this message to you, and try try to try to help you to not get into those self-doubt moments, and try to help you to stay self-believing state. So I hope you are not in self-doubting stage already, but however, if you are already in the self-doubt stage, you want to get it out. You want to get out of there. Now, how to get out? How can you get out? How can you get self believing back in you? Being being incredulous for yourself is not it's not ideal state. It's not something compelling as season for you. But if you are already in there, maybe the that's necessary for you to go through. So you got to go through, and to get out of there, maybe this helps. Okay, now, being procrastinated cause leaving an unfinished work around you. So maybe yourself is surrounded by the mess somehow, and also being being stubborn. You stick so much to your own thoughts, and your and the belief that's based on someone else, or others, or majorities, or general thing. You are not making any update on your thoughts. So if you make a failure based on the thoughts, and you stubborn on that thought, you keep making the same failure again and again. So it's unable to get out of those states. So you gotta be flexible, or update your thoughts to based on your feeling, based on your belief, what you believe, based not based on others. You gotta build your belief system inside you to get out, and those kind of things link to the one thing that is a discipline. Again, and it sounds boring. However, it's really significant. And the one thing it linked to is the discipline. Now, you get out of procrastination. You gotta be more proactive, so that you can clean up the mess around you, and that is really good. You gotta be disciplined to keep the clean around you, keep the neatness around you, keep the tidiness around you. And that is discipline, one discipline. And be disciplined also makes you improve the thought process. If you are disciplined, then you are no longer stubborn to your old thought. you're more fine-tuned, thought-based person if you're disciplined. And being disciplined bring you back the self-believing. And to in order to bring the self-believing within you, you gotta solve the cause. What was the cause? The cause was the most of the case, the thing you did based on your decision turned out failure was the cause. And those events happen continuously over the time, multiple times. That is the cause, and you gotta solve it to get back the self believing. So you want to have the events that turns out good, the success based on what you believe and based on your decision. So to make a good decision, you got to be disciplined. You got to be disciplined, and you got to make a best decision based on your belief. Here's the thing: it's important. It, it takes time to make you self doubt. Okay, it's not an instant. It's not, you know, one day event to make self-believing person to the self-doubt person. It's not a one-day event. It's continuous and long-term event, and it takes time from self-believing to get to the self-doubt. And now you want to get from self-doubt to self-believing, and it also takes time. So be patient and be consistent, be persistent to make an effort to be disciplined and to get better at believing yourself. Now you got to recognize it takes time, and but you're still making effort. Keep the mess around you, and oh, not kidding. No, keep clean the mess around you, and keep it clean and tidy, and you gotta proactive, and you gotta be flexible and more initiative. And after a while, you you make a decision based on your belief and what based on what you believe, and 100% your decision, and turned out to very compelling result. And now you you can get back self-believing right there, and you just keep doing those things, and like, you gotta try, you gotta take a lot of opportunities to make those results. So you know, you can't stay there and sit back and wait for something to make you more self-confident person. It's not gonna happen. You got to make action, and your action is really important. And you got to make action based on your belief, based on what you believe, and your decision, 100% your decision, and not making a decision based on someone saying something, or try not to force yourself to by others to take action. It's not good. You got to make action on your own, and make the compelling outcome, and make the multiple of compelling outcome from your decision. That is how you become self-doubt to the self-believing. So this is the end of this message today, and better habits, better life. And I thank you all, and I thank you always. I love you. I love you. And I see you in the next video. Have a good day. Peace.